The Arizona Cardinals' former second round pick, Rondale Moore, is visiting the Chicago Bears today. The wide receiver, who is an electrifying speedster and return man who has huge upside in the NFL, a guy who has actually drawn some comparisons to Tyreek Hill. Today, I wanted to talk about the former freshman phenom from Purdue, who was drafted in the second round by the Arizona Cardinals. Injuries have held this guy back, but Rondell brings a ton of excitement and playmaking ability to the table. He spent his first 3 years in Arizona before being traded last offseason for Desmond Ritter, sending him to the Falcons. He suffered an injury in training camp and would miss the entire season. That's pretty much been the story of Rondell's entire career after his freshman season at Purdue. This guy has absolutely tantalizing upside, but has not shown the ability to stay healthy. A guy who ran a 4.32 40 and scored a 9.33 on his relative athletic score. His size and speed comparisons are actually very similar to Tyreek Hill. This doesn't come from me, this comes from NFL scouts, and of course his athletic profile. But I still remember his freshman season at Purdue. He was an instant playmaker and a guy who looked like a for sure future top 10 pick. Injuries have held him back, and he only started 4 games as a sophomore at Purdue and only 3 games his junior season. That final season at Purdue, he had nearly 1,000 yards less than he did during his freshman year, but instead of returning to school, he still decided to forgo the rest of his draft eligibility and he entered the NFL early. The Cardinals still picked him in the second round due to how much upside this guy has, and he showed off some of that his rookie season. He had a fun debut with 4 catches for 68 yards, but he immediately made an impact in his second career game. Going against the Minnesota Vikings, he would catch 7 passes for 114 yards and a touchdown. But unfortunately, injuries would strike again, and they've plagued him over his 4 years in the NFL. He has missed time every season of his career, and he's never started more than 8 games in a year. He missed all of last season after hurting his knee in training camp, but he's now healthy and back on the free agent market. He did visit the Vikings already, but now he's visiting the Chicago Bears. And I have to say, this is a guy with about as much upside as you will see for a 24-year-old free agent. He is an absolute home run threat and an electrifying playmaker when he has the ball in his hands. He would be really fun in the Bears offense as long as he could stay healthy. And honestly, Ben Johnson would be drooling over getting a player of this caliber on the free agent market. Remember the work that Ben Johnson did with Jamison Williams in Detroit, another speedy wide receiver who's dealt with a ton of injuries. If Rondale Moore can ever capitalize on the talent he has, the talent that he showcased to the world as a freshman at Purdue, all he needs to do is stay healthy, and he can be a legit difference maker on offense. If anyone can get that out of this guy, I think Ben Johnson might be the coach to do it. He's just 24 years old. He scored a 9.33 on his RAS score. He is only 5'7", 181 pounds, but he's legit like a budget Tyreek Hill. He has electrifying potential, runs a 4.32, he can return kicks or punts, and this is a guy you have to at least consider bringing in. I would definitely not want to overhype this guy, but if you go watch his highlights of what he did as a true freshman at Purdue, this is a player you have to get excited about. He's also already made some big plays in the NFL as well. And these are the kind of signings that Ryan Poles likes. Low risk, high reward. And I could see Ben Johnson as the coach who gets the most out of a player like this. I know we just signed Olamide Zaccheaus, but I don't think that prevents us from signing a guy like Rondale Moore. Ben Johnson loves to rotate in guys and take deep shots down the field. I think Rondale Moore would be a perfect fit for this offense. And if he could stay healthy, it would be a huge home run signing. What would you guys think about this move? As long as we aren't paying too much, I would expect a 1-year prove it type deal, especially considering he hasn't played live football in about 18 months. But let me know your thoughts on this potential signing for the Chicago Bears, Rondale Moore. Stay tuned. I have a ton more content on the way. Please remember to hit that like button for me. And until next time, bear down.